Okay, this is it, right down here. Yeah, it's right down the hallway here. Yeah, this is where it all happened in the summer of 1971. Right down this corridor in the basement of the psychology department is where we converted these offices and storage rooms to prison cells. And we had students like yourself, college students from all over the country, play the roles of either prisoners or guards. This was the yard, the prison yard. Here in this closet was solitary confinement, the infamous hole where the guards put prisoners for punishment. That part was screened off, and there was a hidden camera that recorded everything that happened, exactly where the video crew is now. Here's one of the rooms that was a cell. In fact, I have a box of old stuff from the experiment I'd like you to see. Here's a box with old memorabilia from our study. The sign. This is one of the prisoners' uniform, prisoner 819. You can see it's really a dress. Here are the chains that the guards made the prisoners wear to remind them of their status. Military kind of uniforms the guards wore, their billy club, symbols of power and authority. And you can see over on the wall, one of the prisoners etched the days of the week to mark the passage of time, starting on Sunday, Monday, through the rest of the week.
Well, how long did the study last?
Well, we were going to run it for 2 weeks, but we had to end it after only 6 days.
Why was that?
Prisoner 819 did a bad thing. Prisoner 819 did a bad thing. Prisoner 819 did a bad thing. Prisoner 819 did a bad thing.
Our goal, back in 1971, was to study the behavioral and psychological consequences of becoming a prisoner or prison guard. To do this, we decided to simulate a prison environment, both physically and mentally, and then observe the effects of this institution on all those within its walls. We used the basement of the psychology building to stage our little drama, scheduled to run for 2 weeks. A corridor of small offices was converted into a functional prison environment. It was complete with 3 cells. There was a guard's room, the warden's office, my superintendent's office, and a closet used, if necessary, for solitary confinement. We recruited the help of some prison experts to assist us with our prison design and construction. Foremost among them was Carlo Prescott, an ex-convict recently released from serving 17 years behind bars in San Quentin and Soledad prisons. We placed an ad in the city newspaper asking for participants for an experiment studying the psychological effects of prison life. They would be paid $15 a day. Over 70 people applied. They were given diagnostic interviews and psychological tests to weed out all those with any signs of psychological abnormality, medical disabilities, or history of crime or drug use. 24 were selected. They were all healthy, normal, intelligent, middle-class males from colleges throughout the United States. And with a flip of the coin, each was randomly assigned to play the role of prisoner or guard. It was only by chance that someone was chosen as prisoner or guard. Now, it is important to remember that at the start of this experiment, there were no psychological differences between those students assigned the prisoner role and those assigned to be guards. An undergraduate student, David Jaffe, took on the role of prison warden. I acted as the prison superintendent, while psychology graduate students Craig Haney and Kurt Banks handled a variety of prison staff responsibilities. I met with the students selected to be guards on the day before the experiment was to begin. I had to explain to the guards that they could not in any way hit the prisoners, but they could create in the prisoners feelings of boredom, a sense of frustration.
You can create a sense of fear in them to some degree. You can create the notion of arbitrariness, that their life is totally controlled by us, by the system, you, me, Jaffe, that they'll have no privacy at all. Their cells, they're going to be sleeping in rooms with bars on them. There'll be constant surveillance. Nothing they do will go unobserved. They have no freedom of action. They can do nothing or say nothing that we don't permit. We're going to take away their individuality in various ways. In general, what all this leads to is a sense of powerlessness. That is, we have total power in the situation, and they have none. So what's going to happen tomorrow is, we told the students to wait in their houses or rooms where they're living. Squad cars are going to pull up. Two policemen are going to come out and ask the guy's name, visit him, that he's been suspected of a crime. I don't know. They'll just leave it vague and say drugs or something. Come with us, handcuff him, put him in the car, take him down to the police station, take him to the security underground entrance, detain him, fingerprint him, book him, blindfold him, and then Kurt and Fanny are going to pick him up, because they'll be blindfolded, they won't know, and say, oh, I'm moving out, and then bring them down here, and take the blindfolds off, then they'll be in the prison. Then we're going to take their clothes off, delouse them with a powder spray, put on the uniform. We have some people making uniforms today, which are just going to be like long smocks with numbers on, and they'll have rubber shower shoes, and that's all. No underclothes or anything. And they're going to wear a chain on one leg, which is just a symbolic thing of their loss of freedom. So the police have agreed to do this. I just have to go down and double check and give them the names and so forth.
Will this be done by campus security or by real police?
The real people. The power of the police.
Police car pulls up in front, and a cop comes to the front door, knocks, and says he's looking for me. So they took me out the door. They put my hands against the car. It was a real cop car. It was a real policeman, and there were real neighbors in the street who didn't know that I was. This was a experiment, and there was cameras all around and neighbors all around. They put me in the car. Then they drove me around Palo Alto. They took me to the police station, the basement of the police station. Then they put me in a cell. I was the first one to be picked up, so they put me in a cell, which is just like a room with a door with bars on it. You could tell it wasn't a real jail. They locked me in there in this degrading little outfit. They were taking this experiment too seriously.
Well, when I first got here, even though there was, I had to strip and go through the process, and they would call me names and made me look in the mirror and see how ridiculous I was and stuff, I still didn't feel at all like I was in the prison. I was just looking at it as a job. And I was told not to talk, say anything. I was placed in the cell, and there was another prisoner in there, but still, I looked at it as a job the whole first day.
Well, gentlemen, here it is time for count.
At 2:30 a.m., the prisoners were rudely awakened from their sleep by the night guard shift for their count. The guards were told to routinely perform counts to familiarize the prisoners with their numbers and determine that they were all present and accounted for. But more important, it provided a regular occasion for the guards to interact with and exercise control over the prisoners. There were several counts every day and night. As you can see in this first count, the prisoners were not yet into their roles. They weren't taking it too seriously. They were still trying to assert their independence. The guards were also having some trouble with filling out their new roles, trying to assert some authority over their prisoners.
Hey! I don't want anybody laughing. Let's have no laughing now. There's no laughing now. You guys will be on your own.
Well, the first day I was on the job, I knew it was going to be tough because what we were supposed to do was supposed to try to make prisoners lose all sense of identity, and I really didn't think I was going to be able to do it. So the first day I just sort of watched the others on my shift, really.
Because the first day passed without incident, We were surprised and totally unprepared for the rebellion which broke out on the morning of the second day.